Sword of Sorcery number 6, written by Christy Marks, art by Aaron Lopresti. Last issue, we had the head of House Turquoise killed, and the power, not having an heir, moved into some random street rat. And this issue picks up exactly in that spot where the street rat has been experimenting with his powers and how he's able to change his form at will, but it consumes the turquoise that he has around his neck, so he's forced to go out and find some more. And he's like, oh, and I know where to find the best quality turquoise. And he looks to the royal palace. So meanwhile, within the royal palace, Lady Graciel, who's still recovering from her injuries after last issue, is teaching Amaya how to use her amethyst powers to imbue other crystals with magic. That's one of their main things that they can do with amethyst. And so she makes one of the crystals emit light, and that's why their house is known as the Lightbringer House, because they are able to do that. And it's like, all right, so we can make other crystals of other houses be able to receive their house's ability as well. That's why we're able to make healing rubies and citrines for record history and stuff like that. And so she's like, all right, now I'm going to show you how to do portal crystals. And immediately one of the guards steps up and is like, nope, you need bed rest, and just picks her up and lays her down in bed. And so Amaya goes off with Ingvi basically to just learn a little bit more about stuff through reading. And it turns out Ingvi has a photographic memory, and she's like, okay, well, if you have photographic memory, maybe you'll know this. House Onyx, Lady Akikra, said something about the protocols can't be breached. What does that mean? And Ingvi explains that House Onyx is able to basically... They're able to stop the powers of other people's bloodlines, and that allows them to be, very useful in, they could take over the entire world and whatnot, but in doing so, the other houses would kill House Onyx as well. So in order for them to coexist, they made an agreement where House Onyx will not attack anybody in the 5 cardinal houses, but in exchange, they get a regular tribute payment. And so that's why it was against the rules for House Onyx to attack the Amethyst House. Anyway, we cut back to Earth, and Constantine is looking into a magic mirror, basically saying, mirror, mirror, show me where our big bad supernatural threat is. And then Eclipso shows up in the mirror, and is like, hey, what do you want? And he's like, hey, I got a deal for you, Eclipso. I'm offering you a one-way ticket to Nala, aka Gemworld. And he's like, all right, I'm interested. Where do you want to meet? So then we cut back to Turquoise, where Amaya is putting the big crystal she was working with back in there. And she starts talking to the guy, like the caretaker inside, and just like, yes, your clothes are the finest silk, and I cannot compare these gems to the beauty in your eyes. And she puts a hand on him, and because of their power thing, it ends up transforming him. Turns out this is the street rat, and he is like, okay, hi, yes, I am the new Lord of Turquoise, but I'm just Preet. I'm a thief, and I don't really want to be the Lord of Turquoise, so I'm just going to take this turquoise and bail on out. And as he's walking out, Amaya grabs him with her silk scarf, and he manages to be like, well, two can play that game, and he pulls her down on top of him, just be like, so, I can get used to this. And so Amaya's like, no, it's just, look, just have a conversation with my family. You are destined to be the person in charge of the House of Turquoise, so isn't that worth hearing out? So then we cut back to Earth. Constantine is meeting up with Eclipso out in Death Valley, and he basically has set up a dead man switch for Eclipso, saying, like, if you try to possess me or do anything with my body, I'm going to destroy this crystal and blow you up inside of me, so don't do that. And Eclipso's like, fair, fine, whatever, what do you want? And he's like, okay, I don't like the fact that you're on Earth, so I'm going to send you off to Gemworld, and you can do whatever there. I don't care. But, you are not to be bothered here. And it's like, okay, well, why would they let me into Gemworld? Why? That doesn't... They're just going to not open up the portal. And it's like, here's the thing. They're not going to have a choice. They're going to open up the portal, and you are going to pretend to be cool until you get through the portal. Got it? He's like, all right, cool. Can do. So he transforms into a human form. And then we cut back to... Graciel hearing about Preet, and Amaya's like, okay, so can we get him on, like, he can lead House Turquoise now. And it's like, well, there's a council and stuff like that, and they're probably not going to like a thief being in charge. And Preet's like, see, told ya, I'm not going to be in charge. I'm going back out there. So long. And Graceful's like, now hold on. I said it would be difficult, but it ain't going to be impossible. And Turquoise needs somebody who's been out on the street for a while because they're kind of a little bit uppity, And he's like, yeah, I know. I was like, cool, you agree? You should be in charge. And he's like, okay, but like, there are assassins who would kill me. I really don't want to be a part of all that. And Amaya's like, you got to do it, man. But before they can continue, portal opens up, and Amaya's like, crap, this must be constant. Look, I'm just going to be like 5 seconds. We're going to pop in there, tell him I can't right now, and then come back. And Graceful's like, all right, fine, whatever. So she pops through the portal, and Constantine and Eclipso sell a thing of this being Alex Montez, who's going to be the first Earth to Gemworld ambassador. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that'd be cool. So Amaya leads him through the portal. Constantine on the other side blows up the portal crystal. When he does so, Amaya's father's spirit is released and goes through a portal of his own. And he's like, thank you for freeing me. I must see to my daughter. And Constantine's like, okay. So as Alex Montez and Amaya get through the portal, Alex transforms back into Eclipso and is like, it begins. So long, everybody. And it turns out, because of his tattoos, he's a member of House Onyx, but he just immediately blasts them and then makes his way to House Citrine, where he goes to the leader of the house and like grabs her by the neck, says, when is the next eclipse? He's like, not for a couple of months. Why? Who are you? And he's like, I am Lord Kala, aka Eclipso. I am Lord of the Black Diamond. And she's like, that's impossible. You were gone for 1,000 years. And it's like, well, I'm back. And he tries enslaving her with the Black Diamond. And it's like, oh, you can't enslave those who have a blood power. And you're an abomination. He's like, all right, well, if I can't enslave you, I'm going to kill you. So he snaps her neck and then walks away. So when everyone else in the main throne room is waking up, they're like, okay, that clearly is bad news. We need to go deal with that right now. Graciel, do you have anything that we can work with? And it's like, he's House Onyx and he has some powers. That's all I got. But then all of a sudden, Ingvi is hit with a power surge and she starts screaming out in pain. And it turns out she was next heir in line to the throne. This means her mother is dead and she's getting the power of House Citrine. It's a Black Diamond probability book. If you've been paying attention, you know what that means. But yep, the Black Diamond is back. Eclipso is now in Gemworld, and I think that's just going to be what wraps this up to the end, because this only has 2 more issues. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this book. I'm sad to see it go so soon, but I do think Eclipso, being a gem himself, is a interesting way to end it. I think it's solid. As much as I would have liked it to be more of a Game of Thrones sort of houses against houses, it seems like we're going more the White Walker route, where it's just going to be a outward force that's pushing down upon them. So I'm going to give this issue a 7.5. I did really enjoy it. That's my own personal taste, at least. Writing-wise, it's informative without being too boring. I enjoy the way they're expositing like the different houses and how they all work together. And yeah, no, it's just a good book. I really do like it. I look forward to seeing how it's going to manage to wrap up this Eclipso plot. So stay tuned.